So here's the thing about B-roll. It's the sidekick that can save the hero. Don't believe me? Just watch this. The human brain processes visual information 60 times faster than text. It's why the right imagery can trigger emotional responses, improve retention, and boost engagement. But without proper visuals, well, things can get messy. So let's talk about how to plan and capture B-roll that actually works. So what is B-roll, really? And why do so many video creators treat it like the secret ingredient to success? Well, you want to think of B-roll as the supporting actor in your video. Your A-roll, whether it's someone talking to the camera or a scene playing out, is the main event. But B-roll brings everything to life and added context and variety and emotion. Now let's be fair. There are plenty of successful podcasts and long-form videos that rely on nothing but faces and conversations. And for some formats, that works perfectly. But in most cases, especially when you're creating an educational, promotional, or storytelling content, B-roll is your secret weapon to hold attention and elevate your story. So let's talk about why B-roll matters more than you think. Now let's be real. Our brains get bored quickly. If the visuals on screen stay the same for too long, our attention starts to wander. That's why B-roll is more than just extra footage, it's how you keep things fresh and interesting. Now here's how it works like magic. Number one, it keeps the visuals moving. Think of it this way. Your eyes need something new to latch onto, like a hiker constantly looking for the next landmark. If all they see is the same stretch of road, they'll start daydreaming about lunch instead of staying on course. That's exactly what happens when your video stays stuck on a static shot. But when you introduce B-roll, whether it's a close-up of a hand typing or a wide shot of a cityscape or steam rising from a coffee cup, you're giving your audience visual breadcrumbs to follow, and that keeps them watching. Number two, it adds emotional impact. The power of showing, not telling. Here's where B-roll really shines. There's a reason why filmmakers, marketers, and storytellers live by the rule, show, don't tell. Why? Because emotions are felt through experiences, not explanations. Think about it. If someone says, "This project helped a lot of people," you'll probably nod politely and move on. But if you actually see volunteers handing out supplies, kids laughing, or someone tearing up with the gratitude, that hits you differently. When you show, you're letting your audience experience the moment. And those emotional connections stick. It's why you remember the scene of Simba crying over Mufasa more than any line of dialogue in The Lion King. B-roll helps you create that kind of emotional impact. Number three is it smooths over awkward cuts and transitions. We've all had those moments while we're filming where someone stumbles over a line and there's this weird pause and or the footage just skips. It happens to the best of us. But here's the good news. B-roll can cover those mistakes like a pro. Let's say you've got a jump cut between two parts of an interview that feels awkward. Instead of refilming it or trying to fix it with tricky edits, you can layer over B-roll over the cut and make the whole thing flow smoothly. It's like adding a bridge over a gap. You don't even notice there was a problem once it's covered, and I got news for you, we use it all the time. But here's the thing, don't just slap random B-roll over every cut and call it a day. B-roll is like seasoning in a dish. Too much of it or the wrong kind and it ruins the whole thing. So the next time you're planning your video, don't think of B-roll as the afterthought. Think of it as the secret ingredient that keeps your audience engaged, moves them emotionally, and hides those little mistakes that happen along the way. And trust me, your future self in the editing room will thank you. I want to give you a quick note on stock footage. If you don't have time to shoot custom B-roll for every video, this is where stock footage comes in handy. And there are tons of platforms offering royalty-free clips from scenic landscapes to business meetings to close-ups of coffee being poured. You just got to be careful. Stock footage is a tool, not a crutch. It works wonders when it fits the mood and message of your video, but using generic clips when they feel out of place can make your video feel disconnected or cliche. The trick is knowing when to use it and when to invest time to capture custom shots. We'll get into that later when we discuss planning your B-roll, but just keep that in mind that you don't want to overdo it. Let's talk about the kinds of B-roll that can make your video feel dynamic, immersive, and unforgettable. Whether you're shooting your own footage or pulling from stock libraries, it's not about having a ton of B-roll, it's about capturing the right moments. Here are the types of B-roll you'll want to prioritize. First up, we've got contextual B-roll. Think of it like an establishing shot in a movie. It tells the audience where they are and sets the mood. So let's say you're shooting an interview at a cozy coffee shop. Don't just cut straight into the conversation. Start with shots of the cafe's exterior, baristas making drinks and customers chatting. You're building an environment that the audience can step into. It's like the opening notes of a song. It sets the tone before you dive into the main performance. Next, we've got action-based B-roll. This is where we bring the show don't tell rule to life. Instead of just talking about something, show it happening. For example, if you're filming a video about productivity, don't just say, people are working hard. Show them typing, stretching, brainstorming, or making phone calls. These action shots pull the viewer in and give them something to connect to. You know, action-based B-roll turns abstract ideas into tangible moments. It's the difference between hearing about success and seeing it unfold. Have you ever noticed how some of the most cinematic moments in movies are the little details? Steam rising from a cup of tea, fingers tapping on the keyboard, or raindrops hitting a window. These are close-up shots, and they're perfect for making your video feel immersive. Detail shots can add intimacy, tension, or calmness depending on how you use them. Plus, they make your video visually richer without overwhelming the viewer. Think of them as little visual snacks. They give your audience something satisfying to chew on while staying connected to the main story. And finally, we've got the cutaway shots. These are your editing lifesavers. Have an awkward jump cut, a long pause, or a part of an interview that drags on. A good cutaway shot lets you transition smoothly without anyone noticing the fix. An example would be if you're interviewing someone about cooking, you could cut away to shots of ingredients being prepped or dishes coming together. It keeps the video visually engaging while covering up any editing bumps. Cutaways don't just hide mistakes, they keep your pacing tight and your visuals on point. Now that you know what types of B-roll to capture, let's talk about how to plan it, whether you've got time to spare or you're shooting on a tight schedule. If you want your B-roll to be more than just random filler, you need a game plan. And that starts with creating a shot list. A shot list is your guide to making sure you capture everything you need and then some. Think of it like a grocery list. But instead of making sure you don't forget the eggs, you're making sure you don't forget the close-up of your product or the wide shot of your location. Start by thinking about the story you're telling and the shots that will enhance it. Then break down those into categories. Wide shots to set the scene, close-ups for details, and action shots to bring the energy. And here's a pro tip. Always leave room for improvisation. Sometimes the best shots are the ones you didn't plan. To be ready to capture spontaneous moments is key. Now, once you've got your shot list, your approach will depend on how much time you have. So let's break that down into two different scenarios. First, when you have plenty of time, you can build a shot list for versatility, brand-specific B-roll, and when you've got extra time, think of strategically about capturing B-roll that showcases your brand in action, stuff you won't find in a stock footage library. So let's say, for example, you're a fitness brand that sells high-end workout gear. So here's what your shot list might include. It might be real people using your product, an athlete lacing up your brand's running shoes before a jog, or someone stretching in your branded activewear before a workout. Also, contextual environment shots. Capture them running through a scenic park, lifting weights in a gym, or cooling down on a yoga mat after a session. Product close-ups. Zoom in on the logo while the shoe hits the pavement, or sweat dripping onto the workout mat. The key is to capture footage that highlights how your product fits seamlessly into real-life situation and keeps the viewers connected to your brand story. This kind of custom B-roll adds authenticity and helps you avoid a generic stock footage vibe. Here's a pro tip. Capture the details that matter. The snug fit of the fabric, the durability of the soles. These are the moments that convey quality, emotion, and authenticity. And don't forget to experiment with different lighting conditions for added mood, like sunrise, sunset, or indoor gym lighting. And here's another pro tip. Don't overscript. Let spontaneous moments shine. Yes, plan your main shots, but leave room for happy accidents and candid moments. Maybe the runner bursts out laughing after finishing a tough sprint, or there's a cool interaction with another athlete on the trail. These moments make your content relatable and give you brand personality. Now, what if you don't have the luxury of time to plan an elaborate shoot? Let's dive into how you can effectively capture B-roll when you're on a tight schedule. And that is number 2, on-the-fly B-roll, capturing shots during main video production. So what if you're on a tight schedule and can't spend extra time filming? That's no problem. You can capture B-roll while you're shooting your main footage. You just need to stay efficient and prepared. So you want to start by looking for natural moments that can be captured from different angles. For example, during an interview, while the person is talking, capture a close-up of their hands, their reactions, or objects around them, and add context. If you're shooting a tutorial, grab shots of each step being completed, tools in use, or of the final product. And you don't need a fancy extra camera. That could be as simple as pulling out your phone and getting those shots as your main camera is on your tripod. And don't forget to get cutaway shots, like the location's exterior or subtle details like hands flipping through a notebook. These extra shots can cover awkward cuts and make your final edit seamless. And make sure to maximize the use of your location. Don't waste time running around to different spots. Find creative ways to use your immediate surroundings. If you're filming in an office, you can grab B-roll of the person working at their desk, making a call, or brainstorming on a whiteboard. Got another pro tip for you. Shoot more than you think you will need. Whether you're building a library or shooting on the fly, always overshoot. Grab different angles, try slow motion shots, and don't be afraid to experiment. There's nothing worse than getting into editing stage and realizing you're missing the footage you need to make the video flow. And by the way, if you're serious about creating high converting video content, we've got a free resource for you, the ultimate guide, how to build a video sales funnel that converts. It's packed with tips on how to structure a video strategy, including how to use B-roll effectively to engage viewers. Grab your free copy using the link below. So by now you understand that B-roll isn't just extra footage, it's an essential part of how you tell your story. Maintain visual interest and connect emotionally with your audience. So whether you're building a shot list in advance or working on the fly, the right B-roll can elevate your video from good to unforgettable. But here's the thing, capturing B-roll is just half the battle. The real magic happens when you know exactly how to shoot it, frame it, and make it engaging. And that's exactly where we're heading next. So in the next video, we're not just talking about capturing basic footage, we're diving into pro-level techniques like dynamic camera movement, lighting hacks, and creative angles that can instantly elevate your storytelling. So if you're ready to level up, click here to watch now. You don't want to miss it.